It's undeniable that the Steam Deck is a force to be reckoned with. All right, the thing is just huge. All right, it's got huge processing power, it's got huge potential, and it is hugely impressive, especially coming off of 5.5 years of Nintendo Switch. I'm loving this thing. It's awesome. But, my friends, after playing a bunch of Steam Deck, I've come to realize there are 5 ways that Nintendo Switch still trumps Steam Deck. There are 5 ways that Nintendo Switch gets it right, and even all the awesome egotistical power of this personal PC in the palm of your hands can't quite keep up. And I found it fascinating to figure out how the Switch is still on top. So what's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Hope you guys are excited for this video. Look, Steam Deck, super cool. This thing is impressive as all heck, and it really it continues to impress me. There's so much so great about it, but the Switch ain't no slouch. Let me know in the comments down below if you'd rather have a Steam Deck or a Switch, and definitely hit that like button if you enjoy the videos on this channel every time you like, and leave a comment. All that engagement, it helps us out, and it builds our community bigger and better. Now, the Steam Deck is built bigger and better, but let's talk about interface, all right? Because something I've noticed very evidently is that the Switch interface, despite being a bit boring, light theme, dark theme, it is built for the Switch. Whereas the Steam Deck interface, it's trying to squeeze Steam onto a portable platform. It doesn't just fade into the background, which is what I think a good interface kind of should do. With the Switch, you just go into settings and you browse the eShop, and yeah, maybe the way it's laid out isn't perfect, but it all runs and works, and it's all where it should be, and you don't think twice. I bet you navigate around without going through individual steps. You just know, okay, I'm gonna get to my user profile, I'm gonna check the new releases, I'm gonna check my online membership, boom, bam, thank you, ma'am. The Steam Deck is like, okay, press these 2 buttons awkwardly to pull up a keyboard, go here to go to the store, search here, but you're searching your library. Wait, no, I wanted to search the store. Let me bring up the control scheme. Let me bring up the game. Wait, is the game still open? Is it closed? The interface is nowhere near as easy to use as the Switch. And it's because the Switch's interface is built for the Switch. And I've come to really appreciate a bespoke interface dedicated to the device. And I think if the Steam Deck wants to seriously consider itself a competitor in this space, it needs to create its own interface, not from the personal computer, but specifically for a handheld, where the properties and the needs and the wants and the desires are very different than when you have a 27-inch monitor, a keyboard, and a mouse. Now, I remember when I got my first Switch, like launch day unit, okay, I was about to take it on a plane. I was at Chicago O'Hare Airport, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna Breath of the Wild it up in the sky. And that's gonna be sick, but people were worried about battery life. Would this thing last my whole flight? And you better believe it lasted my whole flight. And despite the early month concerns, I haven't really ever thought about my Switch battery life since then. It provides plenty, I feel, and as long as you dock it when you're back home, you're usually good to go. Steam Deck, on the other hand, no siree. All right, yes, you can squeeze 6 hours out of the Steam Deck if you're playing something like Celeste, but if you want to play what makes the Steam Deck so darn awesome, right? If you want to throw God of War from PS4 on here, you want to play Death Stranding, all right? You want to throw Dying Light 2, you want to play some heavy hitters, some brand new releases, some big, bold games that take up a lot of horsepower, you're looking at about 90 minutes to 2 hours. That battery life goes away faster than Marty McFly flew Back to the Future. It's zapped, it's gone. Gesundheit, goodbye, good night. I'm playing a game, I go to pause and I realize that I've already used 1/3 of the battery. And that's just crazy. And alongside that battery life complaint, this thing gets hot. Okay, I burnt my fingers the first day when I was holding the system like this for the unboxing. I was like, la-di-da, oh, it really does get hot. There is a massive heat flow coming out of this vent. Now, it doesn't really affect your hands if they're held in the normal position, but it is a concern, and it's something that I'm surprised it's outputting this much heat. But it's the battery life that poses a bigger problem, and it makes the Steam Deck feel like it's almost tethered to its AC adapter. You could not play a full game on a plane flight. If you were going from, say, California to New York, you wouldn't have enough battery life. If you were trying to play Horizon Zero Dawn, it would not make it. Metal Gear Solid 5, it would not make it. The Witcher 3, it would not make it. And yet, the Switch can do not those exact games. It can do The Witcher 3, and it can do Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey, and it will last you the whole flight. So it absolutely is a win in the Switch column. Next, we have a small but mighty way that the Switch takes the steak, all right? and we're talking about crashes and compatibility. Imagine a world, my friends, where you logged onto the eShop and you're sorting through and you're like, I don't know if this game will work properly. Heck, I don't know if this game will even play on my Switch. It would be puzzling as heck, and you would be writing on Twitter like, what is up with putting games on the eShop that do not work on the system? This makes no sense. And yet that is the exact experience you have on the Steam Deck, because there are titles on Steam that are not supported on the Steam Deck. There are also titles on Steam that have not been tried on the Steam Deck. And so most of it might work, some of it might not. You might have issues with controls. You might have issues with some performance. You might have issues with certain modes. Different things will not work depending on the game, and only a subset of titles have been verified. Now, to compound that problem, you have some games that crash because this is a personal computer. I guess there's the rare Switch crash, like there was some crash with Paper Mario on the N64 emulator, but typically the games play and perform as they're supposed to. You don't have random freezes where you have to reset the system. It's not something that happens because all the games are made for the Switch. They are titles designed with this system in mind. And the Steam Deck is kind of like inserting itself. It's kind of third wheeling in between your personal computer and saying like, hey, let us play. We want to play. And I'm sure more and more games will become compatible and earn better marks in terms of compatibility. But right now, it's a bit of a wild west. You're like, oh, love that Gears 5 is on Steam, but no, not supported on Steam Deck. Ooh, I heard that Warm Snow is like a really cool riff on Hades and another great game if I'm interested in that style of story plus roguelite action. Oh wait, unsupported. And again, just picture if you went on eShop and you're pumped to see something like, oh, I'm gonna play The Witcher 3, and then you download it and you're like, it doesn't run. This one might be obvious, but it cannot be understated. The Steam Deck is a pricey piece of hardware, much more pricey than the Switch. In fact, the top tier Steam Deck is over 3 times as much as a Nintendo Switch Lite. And even the Switch's elegant, expensive model, the OLED, at $350 is way cheaper than Steam Deck. All right, you can get the baseline Steam Deck model for $400, but that's only gonna come with 64 gigabytes of storage. And we're talking eMMC storage, not even the NVMe SSDs that the higher end models have. If you want to get the Steam Deck that I have right here, the one that I think is probably the best bet, this is $530. Okay, that instantly moves this to $180 more than an OLED and $330 more than a Switch Lite. Now the top model with 512 gigabytes and the anti-glare screen, $650. Let's do the math. That's $450 more than a Switch Lite. Again, you could get 3 Switch Lites and still have enough for a game before you got the top model Steam Deck. So yes, it can do more. Yes, the power is definitely impressive. Yes, this is a much stronger hardware and the controls feel absolutely buttery in comparison to the attached Joy-Con, but you're paying for it and it costs. And at nearly $200 more than the OLED, some cases $400 more than the Switch Lite, you gotta really invest for this. And when you consider the battery life and you consider the interface and you consider the compatibility, the Switch does still have an insanely compelling case. And that's why when we talk about like, ooh, is this gonna run Switch straight out of business? Absolutely not. Totally different audiences, totally different types of devices. Despite being like very similar, they also are very different. And the last and final reason that the Switch still stays supreme is its first party lineup. No matter what Steam does, no matter if they lower the price, fix the interface, boost the battery life, eliminate the crashes, and create full compatibility, they will never have Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. They will never have Splatoon 3. They will never have Pokemon Legends Arceus, let alone Scarlet or Violet. They will never have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, the DLC, or the inevitable sequel. They won't have Mario Odyssey, Mario Tennis, Mario Strikers, or Mario Golf. And you sure bet your butt they won't have ARMS. All right, you get the picture here. All the biggest, best Nintendo games will never be on this system. So for those of you out there that wanted a Switch for Animal Crossing, there's still tons more that want a Switch for Animal Crossing. And the Steam Deck can't do that. And there'll be so many people that want to play Breath of the Wild 2 and will buy a Switch for the first time. And as you can see, the Switch still has a whole lot of juice in its tank, right? This thing still has supremacy in many ways, and despite how awesome it's been to play this, and I'll be bringing you more videos detailing what makes it great. And even though I think Nintendo should take so much as they look ahead to Switch Pro or Switch 2, there still are really great things about the Switch that the Steam Deck doesn't come close to just yet. Maybe one day, but not now. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video chronicling the 5 ways Switch smacks down the Steam Deck. 2 great devices, similar form factors, but very different ideologies. And it's going to be interesting to see how both of these progress as we move into the future. The good news is I'll be there to cover it all with you. So thanks so much for joining, everybody. Make sure you're staying safe, staying healthy, staying happy, staying positive out there. Let me know if right now you'd rather have Switch or Steam Deck. I think I know the answer, but I'm still eager to hear from you. Until next time, everybody, thanks again for watching. Love you lots. SwitchForce out.